Hello and welcome to an ATN tutorial on how to fix the blank or frozen screen on your Excite 4K or ThOR 4 scope. So to get started, we're going to go into the browser, and in the URL you're going to type in atncorp.com. Once you get to our webpage, you're going to want to hit firmware here on the top right corner, and you're going to scroll down to where you see ATN Factory Restore Firmware, and you're going to want to download the setup. So click here and click download for Windows 10. This only works for Windows 10 operating systems. It doesn't work for Mac, so this is the version you're going to need to download, and your computer needs to have Windows 10 operating system. So let's click download. It'll take a few minutes to download, and once it does, the next thing you're going to want to do is download the ELF file for your scope. I left the link to the location in the description of this video, so just click it and it should come up in your browser. I already have it on copy paste, so I'll just open up a new tab and click paste and enter. Here you're going to see two files, one for the Excite 4K and one for the ThOR 4, depending on your device. I am today working with the Excite 4K, so this is the file that I'm going to be downloading. So right click on it and click download. It'll also take about a minute to download. Once that is done, click on the file and hit show in folder. So here you'll see the ATN firmware update and the Excite 4K ELF file. You can minimize this. You're going to want to install the software, so double click on it, click yes, next, install, click next, finish, and finish. And now you're going to see it on your desktop here. It shows up with the icon. The ELF file, you can kind of just drag it onto your desktop. It'll be a little bit easier finding it later on when we're going to need it. So next, open up the ATN firmware software app. So right click on it and run it as administrator, otherwise it won't open. Click yes, and there you go. Another thing I also forgot to mention is do not try to open this ELF file, otherwise it won't work when we're going to be loading it into the software program. So, okay. Next part is we're going to hit expert mode here for another option to come up, and you're going to type in here Obsidian, all lowercase letters. So OBSIDIAN, and hit enter. And it's kind of going to show up with a new option here where with web and file. You're going to need the file option. Once you click on it, it'll show you to select the firmware ELF file. I've already tried this and updated my scope, so it's going to show up with the file directory. But for you, you're going to hit find, and you're going to go to your desktop here, and you're going to find this Excite 4K ELF file. So click on it, hit open, and it should come up. So at this point, you're going to have your scope connected via USB cable to the computer, and it's going to be in the off position. So once that is done, you're going to click the power button and the down button of the scope simultaneously to have the update button become blue. There you go. The scope is now connected and the update button is blue, which means you can update it. So just click on it, and the scope will go into firmware update mode. You won't see anything through the scope's viewfinder, so just wait for the progress to finish updating the scope. Okay, once it's done updating the firmware, you're going to see this dialog box. So you're going to press and hold the power button for 50 seconds to restart the scope normal mode. So just press the power button and hold it until you hear a click. There you go, it clicked. So that means the scope is off. And then what you're going to want to do is click the power button to power it back on, and see in the screen that everything is working. You see the crosshairs and the widgets. So the scope turned on. I see the crosshairs and the widgets. Everything is fine. Now you're going to want to, again, power off the scope. So just click the power button, and you're going to get the shutdown device dialog. You're going to want to hit the right key to yes and click OK. Sometimes the keys left and right don't work, or sometimes the enter button doesn't work for command. So you may want to just hold down the power button for another 15 seconds to force shut it off. Okay, so once you get the scope powered off again, next thing we're going to want to do is you're going to click now on the web circle here, and you're going to select your device type. So we're going to choose the Excite 4K, and the firmware version changed. And now again, we're going to be pressing the power button and the down button on your scope simultaneously. Again, the update button comes up, blue, so you're going to click on that. And now it's installing the latest firmware onto your scope. Okay, once that's done, again, you're going to have to power off the device by holding the power button for 15 seconds to shut off the scope. And then once you power it back on, everything should be good. The only two steps we're going to have is do a factory restore and choose the device type. Okay, so to do a factory restore settings, you're going to hit the center button on your scope, the OK button. Go to the wrench icon in your carousel menu, and you're going to go to the very last tab, Settings, and you're going to scroll down to where it says Restore Factory Settings. There you're going to press the OK button. It's going to come up with a dialog window saying Restore to Factory Settings. Go to the left, click Yes, and hit OK. The scope is going to reboot. Click OK, and it'll just take a few seconds. So once the scope reboots, next thing you're going to do is press the OK button again, get into the carousel menu, choose the wrench icon, click OK, and go again to that same tab, Settings, and scroll down to where it says Device Type. It should say None, so you're going to press OK on None and choose your scope, basically. So it's going to be either the 3 to 14 Excite 4K Pro or the 5 to 20X. Choose your appropriate one and click OK. And that's it. Your scope should be working fine. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you.